We were discussing Fitra and Zakat. Fitra will become wajib upon everyone when the moon of Shawwal is sighted. That is, when it is established that the moon has been sighted, either by you having seen yourself or by popular consensus or by two reliable witnesses. In both cases it must be such which is lending some truth and giving some satisfaction. Only then and then it is to be followed. In other words, Shia' must be mufidun lil ilm. Only Shia' is not sufficient. To say that there are 50 people, 70 people, 100 people who have seen the moon is not enough. It has got to be mufidun lil ilm, in a sense that there must be a possibility of moon being seen, and the report must indicate that they have seen the moon in a correct place, at a correct angle, at the place where it was expected. Because there can be rumors, there can be confirmation of moon on taqiyya, like the way it is being done today in this world. There is hardly one place in Middle East where the Shia Ithna Sharis are not in taqiyya. Whether we talk of wahdat and unity or whatever, with Sunnis and Shias, we like that idea, but the Shias are being persecuted even today. In Bahrain, there is not a single house, as I say, of which either a young man has been killed or is in jail, only because he is a Shia Ithna Shari. And so is in other places. So where taqiyya operates, where the king has given the order that tomorrow is moon, and the people have no alternative but to follow, such reports are not mufidun lil ilm. Even if the whole population tells you that they have seen moon, they are not mufidun lil ilm. So be very careful about sighting and establishing the moon. And I only wish that the community was united on this particular question by relying upon those whom they think they know the masail fiqh, and do not interfere in matters which they do not know. May Allah grant us tawfiq. Now when the moon is established, then fitra becomes wajib. It becomes wajib on everyone. When I say that, means on every head of the family, it is wajib to give the fitra of all his dependents. And Agha, Ayatollah Al-Khoui and other mujtahideen have described dependents as those whose maintenance is wajib upon you. Whether your wife earns or does not earn is immaterial. Her maintenance is upon you, therefore fitra is wajib upon you as a husband. Now she may be a millionaire, she may be earning, but she will not take out fitra. You will take out a fitra because you are the husband and maintenance is upon you. And the children, as long as they are dependent upon you, their fitra will be on from your wealth. If they have inherited from somewhere, you can't take from their money. You've got to keep from your own money. And all those servants who have over the years become part of the family. In certain parts of the world, servants become parts of the family. Say there are certain servants who in India or Pakistan have been taken as family members. They live in the house, they are fed, they eat in the house, plus they are given some pocket expenses or salary in the house. They are in the house. they become part of ayal. Fitra of that servant is also wajib upon the master. Or an ayah, for example. You have kept an ayah or nanny, whatever you call her, for your children. She has become a part of the family in a sense that she will eat there, she will sleep there, she is provided board and lodge, and she is now a member of the household. Then fitra of that lady is wajib upon the master. But these servants, office clerks, or those who come to work for a few hours and then you pay them and they go away, or on contracts, their fitra is not wajib upon you. And the fitra of a guest who arrives after the moon has been sighted, if he has come after the moon has been sighted, then of course his fitra or her fitra is wajib upon us, provided that the guest is not the guest who has come for iftar only. Because many people ask, shall we invite for iftar? Because if I invite 50 people, I have to pay 50 fitra. The iftar is not the type of guest described. The guest means one who has arrived to stay as a mehman. He will live with you for a day or 2 or 3. And it is mustahab to pay fitra for even the child who is still not born. That means if the mother is pregnant, then the child who is still not born, that child's fitra is to be included, but not as wajib, as mustahab. So, £3 if it has been declared today or yesterday by Jamaat. If I have 5 people in my house, young and old, I pay £15. And if there is pregnancy in the home, then 1 more, so 6. This is fitra. And if someone is poor, in a sense that he cannot pay fitra on behalf of everyone in the household, he doesn't have money, then the fatwa is that he takes a fitra of his own, say £3, he gives in the hands of his wife. From the wife, takes it back and gives to his son, and from the son takes it back and gives to his daughter, whatever they are, and finally he takes it back and gives it away. That means it circulates in the household, and he cannot pay his fitra on behalf of all, but this way it circulates and finally it goes out. This agha has allowed in the case of a person who decides herself or himself that he is absolutely poor and cannot pay more than that. Fitra, to be paid from dates, wheat, barley, rice, milk, and grapes, and even bread. Whatever the price is, the minimum is what you eat regularly, the maximum is what you can afford. That means Allah has given you, give the best in the name of Allah for fitra. When does it become wajib? It becomes wajib, as I said, when the moon has been sighted. It must be immediately removed from your wealth. That is wajib. Maybe in London there is no mustahiq to be given fitra immediately, but there are places where there are mustahiqeen ready, where fitra should reach immediately. Before Namaz-e-Eid-e-Fitr, if there is Namaz-e-Eid-e-Fitr and people are going to join. If there is no Namaz-e-Eid-e-Fitr, then the time is up to Dhuhr. And if there is no immediate mustahiq, then at least it is wajib to remove it physically from one's wealth. Not to say ke chopra malekhu che. They have written in the book that I owe so much, my account book reflects, I owe so much fitra, that will not work. It has got to be taken out from our wealth and say this is it. Zakat-e-fitra out, taken. And since Jamaat is arranging to collect it, and the World Federation is also arranging for dispensation of it, it can be handed over to the Jamaat. When they sit here and say this is the fitra from us, and they will arrange for sending it to the mustahiqeen. So that is why I say it must be seen as having been taken out of our wealth. We can't keep it together. Fitra. And before Namaz Eid, if you could not give, after Namaz Eid, but before Dhuhr, it must be given away. And who are the mustahiqeen? 8 places are there, or 8 mustahiqeen, where you can give. But we will take what is ahwat istihbabi ba'atullah al-uzma al-khoy. Ahwat istihbabi means recommended by emphasis that fitra money should be used for the poor mu'mineen. And because it is zakat wajib, therefore fitra of a sayyid can go to sayyid, but fitra of a non-sayyid cannot go to a sayyid, because this is zakat wajib, and zakat wajib is a sadaqah, and sadaqah is haram upon sayyid. But a sayyid giving a fitra can give to a sayyid, but a non-sayyid cannot give zakat of fitra to a sayyid, because that is not for them. Sadaqah wajib is not for sadat. Sadaqah mustahab is alright, but sadaqah wajib we cannot give to them. This is what Imam Hassan alayhi salam was told by the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Kakhin kakh ya bunay, inna sadaqata alayna haram. Take it out from your mouth, my son. Sadaqah for us Ahlul Bayt is haram, and this includes all Sadat who are Banu Hashim. For them, wajib sadaqah is haram. Mustahab sadaqah like nuzurat, mannat, that means nazar, minnat, they can take, but wajib sadaqah they will not take, and therefore fitra's mustahiq is only a poor sayyid, a poor mu'min, ghair sayyid. Now, to give him for his maintenance, to pay off his qard or his debt, to free him if he is a slave, to free him from debts and all that, you can give for that purpose. Of course, fitra can be spent for mosque expenses, it can be spent for building an imambara, it can be spent even for paying the light bills and gas bills of Husayniyah and a mosque. It can be paid for publishing a religious book. But all considered, Agha has written, ahwata istihbabi is that priority must be given, that it must be given to a poor mu'min. Now who is a poor man? Because when it comes to talking about poverty, or when people don't want to pay, every one of us becomes poor. But poor is one in the eyes of Sharia who cannot maintain himself potentially or actually for 1 year. That means I may not have sustenance for myself or provision for myself for 1 year, but potentially I have, actually I don't have. In a sense, actually means I don't have in bank or anywhere in my treasure enough money to put me up for 1 year. But I have got a vocation, a profession, an employment whereby I get my salary. So that is, potentially I can maintain myself for 1 year. Actually I might not have. Or if I am blessed by Allah, I may actually have enough money for a year. Then I am neither faqir nor a miskin. But if a person does not have either potential or actual maintenance or provision or means for 1 year, then that man is a miskin, and he can receive fitra. He is not faqira, he is miskin. Faqir is something lower than that. We call him miskin, one who does not have enough to maintain himself. That man can receive. It is makruh to give to a person who may be mustahiq, but who commits sin openly. It is makruh, openly. And it is not at all jaiz to give to a mustahiq who drinks or who is tarikus salat. Tarikus salat means who does not pray. For these two, Agha has written in his Risala, to give to a drunkard, he may be a poor man. To give fitra to a drunkard is not jais. And to give fitra to one who does not pray, tarikus salat, does not pay wajib namaz, he may be very poor. You can give him from your own funds, but you cannot give him from fitra. So fitra it is makruh to give for other sins. But for these two sins, it is haram to give. Not to give to tarikus salah and not to give to sharibul khamr, that means one who drinks. For the Prophet said, it is very difficult for a person who drinks to be forgiven on the day of Qiyamah. Although Allah has promised that He will forgive many sins, but this guna is such that it is very difficult for this man to be forgiven. Who drinks? And Ali ibn Abi Talib salawatullah salam alayhi said, if a drop of sharab, drop of liquor, a drop of alcohol as we call it, if it falls on the ground to feed some grass, and if that grass is eaten by a lamb or a goat, Ali ibn Abi Talib will not eat the meat of that goat. May Allah save us from all such sins which will not only destroy ourselves but destroy our families and destroy our iman. And may Allah not give us that sort of false pity for those who have no faith. Our pity is for mu'mineen who may have slipped here and there. We are all sinners. But those who don't want to change, for them there can be no pity in Islam. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.